Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric and Countdown to Christmas 2021. Today I finally get to share with you one of my favorite quick projects, mini quilts. Now, some will say, wait a minute, quilts aren't easy and quick. In this case, they are. So, quite a number of years ago, I ended up playing around a little bit with some new software that I had. It's been long enough that there's been 2 or 3 updates to the software since I first started doing these. But there's a software out there for quilters that's called Electric Quilt, EQ. And it's now on EQ 8. And one of the wonderful things you can do with EQ, or Electric Quilt EQ 8, is you can design up really elaborate quilts. And then you can save them as a photo. Or I should say, save them as a bitmap, save them as a JPEG, save them as a picture that you can print on printable fabric, and you have a very elaborate quilt, and you've made it. Now, yes, it's not patchwork, it's not pieced, it is a print. But it's still a quilt. And for those of us that are into quilting, we know there are so many quilting patterns out there, so many things we want to try, that we will very much struggle to try to get them all made in our lifetime. And when it comes to certain very elaborate designs, we may decide we're going to leave that to a whole different group of quilters than ourselves. And for me, I love the designs. I love the designs that applique and intricate paper piecing can make. But I know that I just don't have the desire anymore for that kind of precision. So that's what I mean by mini quilts. So mini quilts can also now be made in the embroidery hoop. This little mini log cabin was all done in the embroidery hoop. And it makes a fabulous little ornament. And it's still a quilt. And in this case, it is a patchwork quilt. The difference between the two of these in the end is there is no hand quilting on this. But there is, there is hand quilting on this one. So some may say, oh, well, those aren't really quilts. Yeah, they are. A quilt is a layered, a sandwich layer that has been attached together with quilting stitches or in some fashion. So someone will say, well, this doesn't have any quilting stitches, so it's not a quilt. Would it be a patchwork comforter then? So we can get into a lot of discussion as to what is a quilt and what is just patchwork and what isn't a quilt. But when it comes to making ornaments, when it comes to a quick project, when it's something to inspire or to give a piece of yourself, I say go for it. So if we're going to do this method, I just really do recommend that you get printer fabric. Now, there is solutions that you can buy so that you can actually turn regular fabric into fabric that can take the inkjet printer ink and become relatively color fast. You can do it that way. You can buy sheets already prepared. You can buy rolls of the fabric already prepared that you'd cut down to go through your printer or that you'd paint on. Either way, there's a ton of that material out there. Printer fabric, that's the way to go. So, I have these elaborate ones. But these are the ones that go on the tree every year that I made a number of years ago. Taking the quilt from the software and then going into my photo editing software, I just layered a picture of my husband when he was graduating from high school. I layered that on top of the patchwork quilt photo, and then I printed it out. And then I hand quilted it to give it that hand quilted look. So I have that one. Can't have a picture of my husband without having a picture of me. In this case, this would have been back when I was in elementary school. I believe I was I was in 5th grade. That's my 5th grade school picture. And again, I just took it into my photo editing software and placed one photo over the top of the picture that I had saved in my quilting software. Then it was just a matter of just really simple hand quilting to give it the puffy look. But needless to say, I couldn't move on without finishing the set. And there's my son. And whoops, get back. And there is my daughter. And there we go. So these go on my tree every year. They are special to me. They are a wonderful way, a wonderful quick way of adding a little family memory to the tree. So I've shown you this one. I've shown you how you can then put other pictures on top of it. You can even do itty bitty ones that if you print some fabric on the back to and from, they now make wonderful gift tags. So just that little bit, you can see the hand quilting showing up on the back. Just that little bit of hand quilting makes a tiny little quilt. And I know there are a number of people who get into doll houses and such. This is a fabulous way to make doll quilts. It's faster. It's a lot faster. It can be much easier, and it allows you to do something like this without spending a year of your time doing all the hand applique. So I also, in some of these, like in this one, I went over some of the fabric with metallic acrylic paints to give it a little more shine. So all of a sudden, what is printed pretty flat now has a metallic element to it. And look at all the little hand quilting I did on the back. So that is a lot of fun. Mixing the different media, mediums, art mediums. Mixing them and combining them just truly makes a fun little ornament for the tree. I have this box. So I made up a bunch of these. I put together a little sewing kit. It has thimble, my scissors, the needle, some of the needles I use, and it has the metallic embroidery, hand embroidery threads that I use oftentimes to make the hanging ties from them. I also have this. This is crochet cotton. I find it makes a really wonderful hanging tie. Oops, dropped that one on the floor. But this one here is with the metallic embroidery thread. So I have this box, and I have all the little ones waiting for me to do some more hand quilting with them. Here's a larger one that I've done. This would start being Barbie doll size, you know, doll size. I started doing some in the machine, testing out some machine embroidery in the hoop ones. So these are actually pieced in the hoop on the machine embroidery. So this is actually pieced, but I have not hand quilted them. So I'm getting some crazy patch. So I've thrown those in here because I probably will put some hand quilting on these eventually. But I just have the, oh, and I've even done some that are just machine embroidery like this, and I stuff them, sew up the back, and these go as ornaments. So there's a number of different ways. I have a bunch of the yarn ready to make more hooks. This one, when I sewed it together, I went ahead and included a hanging rib as a cord, but it still needs to be hand quilted. But this one, if I get up close, ooh, you can start to see Yes, I've overpainted the red with metallic acrylic paints. So those are, I mean, I've just had fun doing these. I did some, and I'll end up putting these in one of my quick projects. I'll be talking about shrinking plastic in one of the upcoming videos about quick projects, but I printed onto shrinking plastic. Shrunk the plastic down, and I have a mini quilt. And all it needed is, I did find that if you painted over the back of the shrinking plastic in a matte paint, acrylic paint, you get better color on the shrinking plastic. But yeah, I did. I printed on shrinking plastic the mini quilts to make ornaments, to make keychains. Oh my goodness, I forgot I did these. To make charms for a charm bracelet. These are mini quilt charms. So I could take these and I could wear them as earrings. I think I might have to do that. I haven't done any shrinking plastic in a while. There's an idea. Make my own quilt earrings. So I just keep simple supplies, simple quilting thread, my supplies on hand, and when I need a quick project, when I just need something to keep my hands busy, I pull out one of these little mini quilts to make some more quilts for the tree. So, let's see. I will finish up by holding these and reminding you that sometimes the simplest, quickest gift can be the ones that are loved the most. Who wouldn't love receiving a mini quilt with a picture of their child or their grandchild in? Or a loved one maybe that has passed away. So, I hope you will take some time to unwind with fiber and fabric. Maybe give a try of printing something out on fabric, whether it's a picture of a friend, a family member, or a quilt. I hope you take some time to unwind with fiber and fabric and find joy this Christmas season in simple, quick, fun to make projects. I hope to see you again tomorrow, and until then, I wish you blessings and joy.